You're listening to Online Pet Health Podcasts with Dr. Megan Kelly. Continuing education for veterinarian rehabilitation therapists. Learn more at onlinepethealth.com.
Hey vet rehabbers, today I chat to Katharina Mattioli. She's the owner and the founder of Flexiness. It's a canine exercise equipment company based in Switzerland. She explains to us why she doesn't have any products in the color orange. We also chat about DIY equipment. So when you're starting off, what types of equipment should you make yourself, and what are the types of equipment that you should buy rather? And we also chat about the difference between human products and the animal products that we have in the market. I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Over to Katharina. Hey Katharina, thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Megan. Thank you for having me.
Katharina, we're going to be chatting today about exercise equipment. Now, this is a topic that you are very passionate about.
That's true.
We're going to touch into all the products that you've designed and made yourself. But one of the things, I think about when we first start practice, we have all these things we want to buy, right? And we have a limited budget. And so if I go back to when I started my practice, and especially being here in South Africa, at that time, it was like 2006, 2007, we didn't have people selling equipment. I know that you've got a Flexiness rep who's here in South Africa who actually sells Flexiness products here, but we didn't have that. And I remember just thinking, okay, I need this exercise equipment. Where am I going to find it? And I basically would use the combination, and I don't even think there were a lot of, I don't even think at that time there were many animal-based exercise equipment companies actually available. But, I think that some of us find ourselves in a situation where the equipment is not readily available. So we have to import it, which is costly, and it's the animal products are generally a little bit more expensive because obviously they have to be burst resistant. And so we're in this position where we think, well, let me just get some cheaper products, which are human products, and just start off my exercise equipment with that. So what do you think about that? I know that obviously for you know that your products are more ideal, but what are the types of products that we could maybe either make ourselves or use that are actually human-based?
Well, the reason why Flexiness exists is why there was nothing available here as well when I started. So that this is why I started with my own brand, because I from the beginning I knew this is the canine fitness is the part I would like to work with. So I was looking for equipment, but wasn't very satisfied with the things that were available, because we had these the round balls for humans and maybe discounter peanuts were available, etc. So this was not very satisfying. And still isn't. if you go for, there are awesome products in the human field you can use for dogs as well. When you start, I would recommend to start with less equipment, but professional canine equipment, which is more costly, but it's professional and you can do a lot. There are awesome possibilities to do it yourself equipment, like platforms or ramps. And I would start like this, because as professionals we should work with professional equipment, and I'm not a big fan of some human products for dogs, because they are, from when you look at the size, or the human body is not a dog, it's not the body of a dog. It's different. So the needs are different.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest disadvantages that I can think of is that their claws can easily burst them. So, I mean, I think that's a massive danger. You've got a large breed, let's say German Shepherd, on a ball, and suddenly it pops it and it collapses underneath it. It can, especially if it's a post-operative case.
Yeah, exactly. I personally, I prefer with bigger breeds, I prefer with all breeds, I prefer to work close to the ground, especially because of these problems. Because it can happen with every equipment, even if it's made for, especially for dogs, it can happen because it depends how the claws are groomed. It is an inflatable product. It can, you can just destroy it. It can happen. So with larger breeds, I prefer to work closer to the ground. It's not the bigger the dog, the bigger the ball has to be, in my opinion.
Yeah. And so although the animal products are made, I mean, do they have a thicker, is the material slightly thicker? Because if I think about the animal products that I've seen and compared to the human products that I had, they looked much, much thinner, the human products, the actual, the material that it's made of.
So some are, some aren't. So it's not every product is. There are, I've seen, when I started, I had for example, a round ball from a big brand, and that material was very thin, and it's like, this is not comparable to the products we have now. Now when we produce, we have influence of how the product is used, but the thicker the material is, that the less flexible the product is. So you have to find the balance between amount of material and the risk to get a defective product because of a claw, for example.
So if I understand correctly, the animal products are not actually burst resistant. So they're not burst proof, but they are burst resistant, right? So they're less likely to burst than the human products. Let's chat about those other products that we can make, So I think that you gave some great examples there, talking about ramps and steps and things like that. I mean, these are products which are really large, So if you think about, if you had to build like a stairs, it goes up and then another platform and then goes down. To try and order this online and find somebody to make it and get it to you is going to be very, very expensive.
Exactly.
And often, the market isn't such that you have a local manufacturer of stairs and ramps for dogs. Every now and again you'll have a country that has that, but majority of the time, you usually have to find somebody, and it's usually an uncle or a dad or someone's husband or boyfriend or somebody who's a bit handy.
Or you can do it yourself.
Or you can do it yourself, yes. If you're especially handy yourself. But usually we have to make something like that ourselves. And it also is so dependent, right, on the size of the room that you've got. So
Exactly.
often we have to build these according to the space that we have. So we'll have a little bit of extra space, and we might have it. I remember I had one that was right up against the wall. So I had a very long treadmill room, and it was quite narrow. But I managed to fit in. So right up against the one wall, I had stairs that went up, and then a ramp, a platform, and then stairs that went down again. And it fitted absolutely perfectly. And luckily, I actually bought that from another therapist who moved, and then that didn't fit into her clinic anymore. So she said, "Oh, do you want to get it from me?" But yeah, I mean, we need to build it so that it fits exactly into the space. And sometimes, we can't have exactly what we want to. But you might be able to find, and I know at my clinic, we actually had on the one side of the clinic, we had some stairs that we could actually use. So you might be able to find something in your clinic or close to your clinic, somewhere that you can actually use that are stairs, so you don't actually have to build them.
Depending where your facility is, you have a lot of possibilities outdoors to use. And when it comes to do-it-yourself equipment, the problem is the limited space. Not everyone has a facility that is that big that you can build everything. But something I personally like, and I also offer my customers to do, or I tell them how to do it, or do-it-yourself platforms, because they can do it according to the size of their own dog. So this is something, and I have different shape models in my studio as well, to show them and to use with the different shaped dogs. And you can combine these. It's a simple wooden board with the yoga mat on top. I glue it on top, and then the height is about between 10 10-15 centimeters from the ground. So, or I build that, and then we can use it with inflatable equipment, like, for example, like a discs underneath to make it more unstable. So you have a wobble board, and I like to use these things. I don't have stairs or built-in stairs or ramps. We have inflatable ones because of the space. So the stairs, when I need stairs, we have it in our we have them outdoors, so we can use them. And I think the best thing is to have different sizes of platforms, boards. You are very flexible, because you can build a ramp with a simple board, and you can store it at the wall, and it doesn't take a lot of space.
I love that idea for a wobble board. So actually just getting like a wooden board and then gluing something non-slip like a yoga mat. And then you said just actually putting it on like a disc. So you know, one of the smaller pieces of equipment that you can get a wobble. Because at my time, when I remember we made this was actually one of my therapist's dads. He was quite handy. He was like a carpenter, and he made this really cool wobble board. But it was complicated. I mean, it was exactly that, like a board with something non-slippy on top. So it's like
non-slippery.
And then it had these sort of semicircles, so half semicircles that you used to be able to lock and unlock. So you could lock one side, so you could do it, wobble it to one side.
Okay.
If you wanted to wobble all four sides, you could lock it. But it was complicated, and there were lots of little things sticks and things that you had to put in and out. Yes. So I love that idea. It's really, really simple. You know, and like you say, that, and this thing I remember, because of all the semicircular things where the rockers were, you know, it was very heavy to lift around, and it was very cumbersome to try and store it somewhere, because it stuck out, because it had all these pieces of equipment underneath. So that's a great idea.
Yeah, because you can, when you have, for example, when you use a Flexiness product, you can use the twin disc, and then it depends on how you lay it underneath the board, how the platform is, which direction it goes. So and then how much air you put into the discs, the grade of difficulty changes. So this is something I use a lot, and it's not as cost effective for my customers, or for the customers. They have to, most of them already have one disc at home, and then they buy maybe one twin disc from us, and then they go and get a wooden board in the size of their dog, which doesn't cost, or which almost costs nothing. Maybe they have already one at home. Yoga mat is not expensive, and then they have a pretty nice range of equipment already to do a lot of exercises.
Yeah. So if you just have one disc under there, obviously it's a lot more unstable. But if you put them sort of further apart, you can make it a whole lot more stable. So you can just alter the number of discs there, I see, to make it stable.
Yeah, and with the amount of air, how the discs are shaped, and how you lay them underneath. There are so many possibilities. You can use one disc, so you have increase and decrease platform. And I think that's and with the little feet the platform has, it's lifted from the ground, so you can use it completely stable. You have a lot of possibilities with such do-it-yourself platforms, and if you do them nice, if you're talented in craftsmanship, they look easy in your studio or your practice. So it's not it doesn't look cheap.
Yes,
I think that this is something from personally, for me, it's very important that the equipment doesn't look cheap. Because we work with them, we earn money with it, so we have to use professional equipment. It can be handmade, but quality
and good
safety. It has to be safe.
Yeah. Let's quickly chat about land treadmills. So you're involved in lots of sports treatments and that. And I mean, treadmills is a land treadmills is another example. So like here in South Africa, it's not easy to get a doggy land treadmill. So what a lot of therapists do will just get a human treadmill and then try and, make a plan, right? What are the problems with doing this? So what are the disadvantages?
I mean, a standard human treadmill is just for most breed too short. It's not that's the problem. There are larger human treadmills, but they are quite expensive, and they would fit for larger breeds as well. But I think you can cheaper import a dog treadmill instead of buying such a large human treadmill. So for smaller dogs, you can use human treadmill. That's no problem. I've seen that mid-sized breeds sometimes have problems with that headpiece, which the most human treadmills have. I personally like my treadmills naked. Nothing around. I don't like the caged ones either. I think to invest into a dog treadmill is better than to use a human treadmill. If it's too short for the dog, the gait is completely off. So what is the use? For smaller dogs, you can use it. But yeah.
Yeah, so I think if you've got a human treadmill, you need to have a look and see how is the animal moving on it. And so, like you said, for those larger breed dogs, they're not actually able to get the stride length that they normally would. So you're actually changing their gait. And I think I think I've seen a lot of people make sort of makeshift barriers and things like that. And I think I agree with you. I think that when it's just empty and it's just a treadmill without the barriers on the side and they'll sometimes put something in the front, I think actually it's worse for the dogs. I think that they feel a lot freer when they're walking on the treadmill and it's got nothing around it, and I think that you can access the dog also a whole lot better when it, and the dog ones that you actually get now, those barriers and those side bits, I think that they're removable, right? So you have to have them on.
Yeah, I have one that I have 2 dog treadmills, or had 3 different brands, and they all parts were removable. So I think that's important. I don't know. I've never seen one. There's those one with the cages around. I have never seen one in person, so I don't know if those are removable. But I think so, because I think they're just screwed on. But
So one of the other things I've heard of is obviously the underwater treadmill. Now that is something that is a huge investment. And I've heard of a few practitioners, I must say, I've heard them talk about it, but then I've never seen the end results. So they've said to me, they are looking at basically creating their own underwater treadmill. So they obviously have got a land-based treadmill and somehow are wanting to put it into water. So for the listeners out there, if you guys have achieved this, we'd love to hear about it. So please send us a message on Facebook. Let us know if you've achieved this. Because I've tried it to a few people. So, I mean, obviously an underwater treadmill, the investment that you'd have to make on that. So I think people think maybe they can get a treadmill and somehow waterproof it somehow and then put it into a pool or put it into a tank or something like that. Any ideas about that?
I have never heard of that, but that would be interesting if that worked. But I think, I think that's the same. That's really a product I would like. If you want one, there are in underwater treadmills you can have you have all kind of you can go from the smart version to Rolls-Royce. You have everything available there as well. So I think it's not that. I think that if you want one, then invest in one. But it would be interesting to, because I would be afraid to put my dog in a self-made underwater treadmill. I don't know.
No, I'm 100% in agreement with you. So I've seen some pictures of like treadmills in a pool where people are actually walking on them. So you just see like in the bottom of a pool a treadmill. And I think that this is where vet rehabbers get the idea. But it's obviously very different because you can't get a dog to walk down that, because obviously with our height, it's completely different. So yeah, I'd be interested to see if anyone's been successful in that. But I think I'm in agreement with you. I think a makeshift, I think this is one of the areas where we just leave it to the experts.
Because
so I'm in no way suggesting to any of you listeners to please make your own underwater treadmills, in absolutely no way. So it's not something that we are saying that you should do. We're just having a conversation.
I think water and power is just, I personally, I'm hands off. This is nothing I don't work together with water. This is expert. Leave it to the experts.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. So let's just recap now. What are the advantages of making our own products?
Yeah, you can choose the size.
Yeah.
This is, in my opinion, the best advantage. You can fit the product to your needs.
You can do it sometimes more cheaper. So maybe you would have to buy something. So you could save a little bit of money. So I like that.
Exactly.
So you have your size and you could save a little bit of money. And I think what we mentioned is like tailor making it to your space. So space that you have, you can make it, that comes in the size again, right?
I mean, Cavaletti, for example, is also a good example for a do-it-yourself equipment piece. You don't have to buy them.
Yes.
So this is something you can do it fit to your needs. I think that's the biggest advantage. You can create. You can do what you want. You can create the thing for your needs, for your patient's needs. So I think that's the biggest advantage for do-it-yourself equipment, and then you can squeeze in professional canine fitness equipment for the things you can't do yourself, because you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen someone doing a donut ball themselves. It's not working. For example.
So if we also then just recap on the disadvantages, one of the things that you mentioned, which I think is very important, is that we might look slightly unprofessional. So if we make it and it looks like it's been handmade in our garage, we've got to be very careful. So we've got to make sure that we choose materials that are professional. We're going to go buy a nice new yoga mat. We're not going to put one that's got holes in and old, and we're going to make it so that it's really professionally done. And we're able to do that, for the things that you've suggested.
Yep. Exactly. It's because it's handmade, it doesn't need to be cheap. And it can look, it has to look professional. That's it. But it can be handmade.
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the questions that often comes up, and I see this in the Facebook group, is I am just starting out. What equipment should I get? So if I'm now going to invest in buying equipment, so let's say somebody contacted you and said to you, I have a small budget, I need to buy equipment, I'm just starting out. What would you advise out of your range that I should get?
I think the first question I would, you need to know what's the needs of your clients. Is it rehab? Is it more fitness related? And so I can choose. We have different starter kits from small budget to Rolls-Royce budget, maybe. So we can so everyone, I try to put them together for everyone's needs, so they have the products they need to start. If I had to choose for rehab, I would say, just talking from my range of products, get a platform. Twin disc is a great starter tool, and fit stage bar. These are the pieces of equipment I would recommend to start, and then save save a little bit and get a cloud for more advanced.
For our listeners that don't know too much about your range, just explain to them what those products look like, and so what they actually are. So what the cloud and what's a stage 4.
So I start with the twin disc because this is my favorite piece of equipment for starters. It's the twin disc is a like you can imagine the round disc, but it's just like two of them in one, and the size the height is about 5 to 6 centimeters, and then you can blow it up to make it more unstable. This is a great starter tool. Then the fit stage bar is the size is 1 meter, height 20 centimeter on 40 centimeter. It's like a platform. It looks very stable, but depending on the amount of air you have in it, it's like air mattress, so it's or a little like a trampoline, so it's very it's a very good piece of equipment, and it's inflatable, so it doesn't take a lot of space, and it's not like the balls. It's very quick deflated and inflated also very quick. And what was the third one was a platform. So platforms, ours is square 160 on 60 centimeters. But as I said before, you can do your own platforms. And with the fit stage and the twin disc, you have a variety of products. You can do a lot. You can have a lot of need. You can do different things, and you can be very creative with these 3 items.
So the suggestions that you made are all things that are lower down on the ground. So you would suggest sort of starting off with those pieces of equipment and then expanding, getting some balls and peanuts and things like that.
I always start very close to the ground. This is for me a must, and with bigger breeds I never go higher than what is it, about 60 centimeters from ground.
Okay.
So
any difference in what you would suggest to the fitness, so for the person that is actually wanting to buy equipment more based on fitness, or would it be the same suggestion?
With my fitness clients, we do lots more trick things. So I would introduce Paw Stackers to a basic set of equipment as well, because they really like to learn with those half-shaped balls to stack the dogs on it, and do different exercises and different tricks with those. And you can use them on the platforms, besides the platforms, with in combination with the twin disc. It depends. I mean, every piece of equipment is useful, but it depends on the budget you have. So if I would use D3 and maybe add 1 or 2 sets of Paw Stackers to be more flexible when it comes to trick.
So I know you're always innovating and you're always thinking about new products. Have you got any new products that are coming out that you'd love to tell us about?
Yes, we have a new disc that is coming out hopefully very soon. At the moment, the world of transportation is a little bit difficult, but we are waiting for our delivery of paw discs. This is a new disc we designed. It's bigger than the regular round disc, and due to its shape, it doesn't have the round discs were invented for humans to sit on, and it's not another very great piece of equipment for dogs, because of when the dog steps on it, it goes with one paw, and then the other side, one side is down, the other side is higher. So it's difficult, and when you put more air in it, it changes the shape, and due to this paw shape, it really the shape stays the same, so you don't have any difficulties with the and it doesn't go up on one side and down on the other side. So it's a very nice new product.
That sounds awesome.
That hopefully comes soon. So we expect it, I think, end of May, in the beginning of June.
Okay.
And we are very happy and excited about this one. And then we will announce another new product a little bit later this year. So there is a lot in the pipeline.
So you can't tell us about that one. Is that a secret?
It's still a secret because we are still in the prototype phase. So we will shout out as soon as we have finished this and get the first pictures. So, and we can take the first pictures with the samples to announce our new product that is coming out. So we are very happy, and
we'll wait anxiously to see what the
it's very nice. And we had another new product that came out I think about 1 month ago. It's the toy Paw Stacker, so especially made for the smaller dogs' paws, and they are very nice as well. I'm very happy with the new additions we have made.
So one of the things that I forgot about is one of the advantages is that you can get them in different colors. The animal products are in different colors to the human products. So I remember having a podcast interview with you, and that was one of the main reasons, right, that you started Flexiness, because you didn't like the colors. You didn't go with your theme and your graphic design for your brand.
That maybe is one of the biggest problems for my customers, because every product I design it for myself and my dogs. So it's the colors I choose. Some people maybe know that my background is graphic design, so I'm coming from a very colorful area, and and I like these colors, and my products have to fit my needs. So it's only colors I like that are in our product range. So no one needs to write me if we will do this product in orange. Flexiness will never have a product in orange, because I don't like orange. We get a lot of emails asking us, because people would like to have things in yellow and orange. I'm very sorry. You have to like my colors, and these definitely are not fitting my my product range.
Katharina, it's been awesome chatting to you. You obviously also are so involved in educating in fitness and in sports and in canines. So why don't you quickly tell us, because you've also got your own podcast, you and Leslie Eid, why don't you tell us quickly a little bit about that? Maybe some of the listeners would be interested.
Leslie and I, we have this, it's I think about a year now, we started Let's Talk Canine Fitness. It's a monthly podcast we do about obviously canine fitness, and we have a lot of fun doing it. We do one regular episode mostly about one topic, and then we do one mini-sode where we answer questions of our patrons. We have a patron program, so they support us and can ask their questions, and this is what we do, and we enjoy it a lot, and we have very good feedback actually, and it's a lot of fun. And it's great to connect with people. And we will start to do a series of interviews. This is planned. So if anybody is out there who would like to be part of Let's Talk Canine Fitness, just contact us, and we maybe can
connect.
do something together.
Awesome. Katharina, thanks for your time. It's been great chatting to you.
Thank you, Megan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the subscribe button so you get notified every time I load a new podcast. And please, if you get a moment, head over to Stitcher or iTunes and leave me a review. It's a really lonely job being a podcaster, and so the only time I get to hear from you or know that you're out there is when I get a review. And know that I read every single one of your reviews. So to those of you that have left reviews, I want to say a very, very big thank you. Every time we get a review, it really helps to get the Veterinary Rehabilitation Podcast out there to all the vet rehabbers all over the world.
All right, vet rehabbers. So if you are looking for more continuing education in the field of veterinary rehabilitation, head over to onlinepethouth.com. Go be awesome, guys.